Alright, y'all, so today we're going to complete a launch that asks you to calculate the margin of error. So Miss Chan collects rocks from different countries that her friends have traveled to. This is actually a real story. I have a lot of rocks. You can ask me about it. She has over 100 rocks that says that the average diameter of the rocks are about 3 inches. A random sample of 23 rocks were taken. The sample mean diameter x bar is 4.3 inches with a standard deviation Sx of 0.25 inches. What is the corresponding margin of error for a 95% confidence interval computed for this sample? So this can be a little bit confusing, right? Because I say I have 100 rocks and I say that I have a random sample. So what actually matters is that we do a random sample of 23 rocks, okay? Because remember that we're looking at the random sample of the rocks. We don't know the population's standard deviation, so we have to use the random sample. What is the corresponding margin of error for the 95% confidence interval computed from this sample? So margin of error is equal to T star times S sub x over square root of n. And for this case, we know that degrees of freedom is going to be 23 minus 1, which is 22. So we're looking at T star of 22 at the 95% confidence level. And if you look at your chart, you're going to get a T value of 2.074. So 2.074. And if I plug this into my equation, I get 2.074 times 0.25 over the square root of 23. And I get my margin of error to be 0.108 inches. Okay. How many rocks would you need to sample on to be able to estimate the true average diameter size to be within 0.05 inches of her claim, with keeping the same confidence level? So we want our margin of error to be 0.05, and we're keeping everything the same except for n. So we have 0.05 equals 2.074 times 0.25 divided by the square root of n. Square root of n onto the other side and move the 0.05 over. And I get this. I'm going to square both sides to get rid of the square root. And if I put this into a calculator, n is going to be 107.53. But I can't have half of a rock. So I need to sample 108 rocks to get my margin of error to be within 0.